All right, let's just jump right in. For centuries, the rules of education have been pretty much set in stone. You need a school, you need textbooks, and most of all, you absolutely have to know how to read. But what if all of that was about to change? I mean, completely. We are right on the edge of a revolution that is tearing up that old rulebook for good.
Seriously? Just pause and think about that for a second. What if the biggest barrier to knowledge in human history, the ability to read and write, just wasn't a barrier anymore? What would that actually mean for us, for the entire world? It would mean we have stepped into a whole new era, an age where learning is as natural as just having a conversation. Welcome to the age of the talkbot.
So first up, let's talk about this huge idea. We are literally watching the end of an era. For the first time ever, the written word is about to lose its total monopoly on how we educate people.
So what exactly is a talkbot? Well, think of it as an AI you can just talk to. It listens, it gets what you're saying, and it teaches you in your own language and at your own speed. It flips education from being a lecture into a real dialogue. And this isn't some sci-fi movie concept. This is happening as we speak. A farmer in Kenya can get expert advice on his crops just by asking a question out loud in Swahili. The AI doesn't hand him a manual, it gives him a spoken answer he can use, like right now. Or, get this, an Indian mother who maybe never had the chance to go to school herself can now be her child's first English tutor. She can have a conversation with an AI in Hindi, and it guides her on how to help her kid. That's breaking down massive, decades-old barriers. And this example, wow, this one shows you the incredible power for changing your economic future. Imagine a construction worker in Brazil learning a skill like coding, which is in super high demand, just by talking to his phone on the bus ride home. No classroom, no tuition fee, no needing to read a textbook to get started. Which leads us to our next point. This whole gigantic shift, it's a perfect example of this economic idea called creative destruction. And it's happening right in our schools. So the economist Joseph Schumpeter had this big insight. Progress isn't always nice and neat. New, better technologies always end up replacing the old, less efficient ones. Think of cars replacing the horse and buggy. Well, AI is about to do that exact same thing to the old-school factory-style classroom. And you can see this arc throughout history, right? We went from these exclusive ivory towers for just the elite to the factory school model, which was really designed to pump out identical workers. Today's AI disruption, it's not some random event, it's the next logical and maybe the most powerful step in that whole story. Now, just look at this comparison. It's night and day. The old way was all about everyone learning the same thing, the same way, rote learning. This new infinite classroom is totally personalized and is all about actually creating things. We're moving from a teacher just broadcasting information to a conversation where the learner is right in the middle of it. And this last one is huge. We're shifting from needing a degree to prove you know something to having a portfolio of work that proves what you can actually do. Okay, this brings us to our third point, and honestly, this might be the biggest one of all. This isn't just about making schools better. This is about changing the economic destiny of our entire species. We have decades of economic research, even Nobel Prize winning stuff, that all points to the same thing. Real long-term wealth comes from innovation. And what's the ultimate fuel for innovation? An educated population with real skills. To really get a sense of the scale here, just look at this number. 750 million. That's how many adults around the world can't read or write, according to UNESCO. For all of history, this incredible amount of human potential has been locked out of the global economy. AI and voice are about to hand them the key. So, the logic here is it's so powerful. You give everyone on the planet a personal AI tutor. That means our world's human capital, our collective knowledge and skills, goes through the roof. And when you have billions of new minds all contributing and solving problems, innovation just explodes. That kicks off a wave of economic growth like nothing we have ever seen before. But here's the real kicker. The goal is bigger than just giving people access to information. It's about giving them agency, the power to create with that knowledge. They won't just be consuming facts, they'll be building tools, solving their own local problems, starting new companies. So this all leads us to a final, really critical thought. We could be standing on the doorstep of a new enlightenment, a massive global leap forward for humanity. But just like any big revolution, it's not going to be easy. It comes with some serious challenges.
Yeah, we have to be really smart about this. The digital divide is real. It could leave the poorest people even further behind. AI can pick up our own biases. We have to think about who owns and protects our data. And there's a real risk that AI, trained mostly on Western information, could start to flatten out unique local cultures. And of course, making sure the education is actually high quality, that's a huge job.
But if we can figure out those challenges, man, the reward is just incredible. I think this quote really says it all. We're not just making knowledge easier to get, we are on the verge of unlocking the creative genius that exists inside every single person, no matter where they were born or how much money they have.
So that's the big picture. For the first time ever, the tools to learn and create can truly belong to everyone. The old walls of literacy, cost, and distance are crumbling. A new enlightenment isn't just some future dream. It's starting right now. The only question left is, what are we all going to do with it?